Welcome, everyone. I'm excited to kick off our session today. We'll be exploring Mega Goal 3.1, focusing on Unit 4, the world of TV and its grammar. Today's presentation will give you a clear overview of key concepts related to TV and the grammar we use when talking about it. So, let's get started and enjoy the learning journey ahead. Let's take a closer look at the rules to do the exercises correctly. First, applying the sentences using a coordinating conjunction properly is key. This means understanding how to connect ideas smoothly with words like and, but, or, so, and yet. Next, rewriting sentences with paired conjunctions helps us create more balanced and complex sentences. It's important to join independent clauses correctly using these conjunctions to make our writing clearer and more cohesive. The overall lesson objectives are to ensure you grasp these fundamental skills so you can improve your sentence structure and clarity in your writing. Remember, mastering these rules will help you communicate your ideas more effectively. All right, let's talk about what conjunctions are. Conjunctions are often called joiners because they have the important job of linking words, phrases, or even entire clauses together. Think of them as the glue that holds different parts of a sentence together, helping to make ideas flow smoothly and clearly. Without conjunctions, our sentences could become choppy or confusing. So understanding how to use them properly is key to constructing well-formed, connected sentences. This ties into our overall theme of building stronger communication skills, because knowing how to connect your ideas effectively makes your writing and speaking much more coherent and engaging. All right, let's start with our warm-up. How many kinds of conjunctions are there? Well, the answer is there are 3 kinds. Conjunctions are words that connect different parts of a sentence, making our speech and writing flow smoothly. Recognizing these 3 types is essential because they help us understand how ideas are linked together. As we move forward in this presentation, understanding these conjunctions will be key to mastering sentence structure and making our communication clearer and more effective. So, keep this in mind as we continue. These small words have a big impact. Now let's take a closer look at some of the common correlative conjunctions. These include pairs like either, or neither, nor both, and not only, but also. These pairs are used to connect different parts of a sentence, whether they're words, phrases, or even entire clauses. What's important to remember is that these are called paired conjunctions because they always come in pairs. They work together to create a balanced structure, making our sentences clearer and more precise. For example, when you say either, or you're presenting 2 options, with neither, nor you're negating both options, both, and emphasizes 2 things equally and not only, but also adds extra information for emphasis. These correlative conjunctions help us connect ideas smoothly and elegantly, which ties right into our overall theme of building strong, clear sentences. Using them correctly enhances our communication by showing relationships between ideas clearly and effectively. So in this slide, we're looking at how we use the word either to show choices between 2 options. For example, we could either go to Damam or to Al-Khobar. The word either introduces the first option and or presents the second one, making it clear that a choice has to be made between these 2 places. Similarly, Ali can either play football or basketball. Again, either indicates the first possibility and or suggests the second, giving us 2 options to consider. And then there's the example of household chores. You either cook or clean the house. This shows how either helps us present 2 alternatives, often in everyday decisions. The key point here is that either, or, is used to show a clear choice between 2 things. It's a useful way to express options in both conversations and written language, and it helps us connect ideas clearly when we're talking about alternatives. This concept ties into the overall theme of making choices and understanding how to express them effectively in English. Today, I want to talk about how we use neither and nor to join negative or contrast ideas in a sentence. For example, in the first sentence, I will neither call him nor send him a message anymore. We're showing that both actions, calling and messaging, will no longer be done. It's important to note that neither makes a negative statement about two actions or two people, emphasizing that none of them will be involved. In the second example, she neither speaks English nor French. We're indicating that she doesn't speak either language. Again, neither is used to connect two negative ideas, reinforcing that both possibilities are false. And in the third example, neither Ali nor Ahmed could solve the problem. We're saying that both individuals were unable to solve it. Neither of them succeeded. Overall, neither nor is a very useful structure for clearly expressing the absence or impossibility of two options or actions at once. It helps us make our statements more precise and emphasizes the contrast or negation effectively. So, when you want to highlight that two things are not happening or not true, remember to use neither and nor together. I spoke to both the teacher and the headmaster about your problems to ensure everyone is aware and can work together to find solutions. It's important to have open communication in these situations. I also want to highlight that he can speak both English and Spanish fluently, which can really help bridge any language barriers. This bilingual ability is a great asset, especially when communicating with diverse groups. Additionally, both Sarah and Nora are from Kuwait, which adds another layer of cultural context to consider. Understanding these details helps us better support their needs and foster a more inclusive environment. Today, I want to highlight how we use the phrase, not only, but also to make our sentences more expressive and balanced. For example, I like not only cheesecake, but also cake. This shows that my preference isn't limited to just one type of dessert. I enjoy both equally. Similarly, they visited not only Mecca, but also Al-Madinah. This emphasizes that their trip covered more than one significant city, highlighting the extent of their travel. And finally, he is not only hardworking, but also intelligent. This illustrates that he possesses multiple admirable qualities, not just one. The key point here is that not only, but also helps us connect two related ideas smoothly, adding emphasis and clarity. In the context of our overall theme, it reminds us how combining ideas effectively can strengthen our communication, making our messages more compelling and comprehensive. Let's talk about how to choose the correct verb form when dealing with singular and plural nouns connected by these words. When you have a sentence like, either the coach or the players need to calm down, notice that we look at the noun closest to the verb. In this case, players is plural, so we use the plural verb need. Similarly, if you reverse it, either the players or the coach needs to calm down, then coach is singular, so we use needs. The key point here is to always focus on the noun that is closest to the verb. Now let's look at some special pairs like neither, nor, and not only, but also. These also follow the same rule. The verb agrees with the noun closest to it. So if neither the students nor the teacher is available, the verb agrees with teacher, which is singular. With not only, but also, the verb also agrees with the noun closer to it. And for either, or, again, the verb matches the noun right next to it. Understanding this pattern helps ensure your sentences are grammatically correct, especially when dealing with mix and match singular and plural nouns. It's a simple yet powerful rule that connects directly to the overall theme of proper grammar and sentence agreement. Now let's look at how we use the word both with plural subjects. When we say, both Haya and Nora enjoy shopping in the malls, we're talking about two people who both like shopping. The key point here is that both refers to two things or people together. Similarly, in the next example, both my father and my brother are here. We're showing that these two family members are present at the same time. A helpful note is that when using both, we connect the two subjects with and we always use a plural verb. For example, are instead of is because we're talking about more than one person or thing. So remember, both always pairs two subjects, and we use a plural verb to match. This way, your sentences will be clear and grammatically correct, especially when talking about two people or things simultaneously. An independent clause is a group of words that includes a subject and a verb. It's the core of a complete sentence because it expresses a full idea and can stand alone as a sentence on its own. So, whenever you see a group of words that has a subject and a verb and makes sense by itself, that's an independent clause. This concept is important because understanding independent clauses helps us build clear, complete sentences and connect ideas properly. Now, moving on, let's briefly touch on coordinating conjunctions, which are words like and, but, or, so, and yet. These words help us join independent clauses together, making our writing more fluid and connected, which ties back into the overall theme of constructing strong, complete sentences. In this slide, we're focusing on the second clause and the first clause and how they connect using coordinating conjunctions. For example, I ordered the engine online, but I can't find the confirmation number. Here, the word but links two independent clauses, showing a contrast between ordering the engine and not being able to find the confirmation. Remember, coordinating conjunctions like and, but, or, so, yet, and nor help us combine two or more complete ideas into one sentence smoothly. They're essential for creating clear and fluid sentences, especially when explaining situations or giving examples. In this context, understanding how to properly connect these clauses enhances clarity and helps us communicate more effectively. It's a fundamental part of constructing more complex, yet understandable, sentences that relate different ideas logically. Let's talk about coordinating conjunctions today. These are words like and, but, and so that connect parts of a sentence. They help us join ideas smoothly. For example, I was feeling blue, so I didn't go to school. Here, so links the first part with the second, showing cause and effect. Another example is I like coffee, but I like tea shows more. In this case, but shows contrast between the two preferences. And we also have examples like, I read the detective books, and I saw the TV series, too. Notice how, and connects two related actions. The key point is that coordinating conjunctions connect equal parts of a sentence, like clauses or words, making our sentences clearer and more natural. Keep these in mind as they are essential tools for building well-structured sentences in your writing and speaking. All right, let's take a look at this slide. The key point here is about calming down in a high-pressure situation. Whether we're talking about the players or the coach, the important thing is that someone needs to step up and bring the temperature down. Notice that the correct form is needs because we're talking about either the players or the coach individually, so singular form applies. It's crucial to understand that in these moments, staying calm isn't just about feeling better. It's about making smarter decisions and maintaining team cohesion. If everyone gets too worked up, it can lead to mistakes or miscommunication. Now, the phrase, find the fib, is a fun way to keep us engaged. It asks us to identify which part of this sentence might be incorrect or misleading. The key takeaway is that the focus is on the importance of calming down, and the grammar detail also reminds us to pay attention to singular and plural forms based on context. This concept ties back to our overall theme. Managing emotions and maintaining composure is essential for success, especially under pressure. So, whether it's the players or the coach, someone needs to be the calming influence. Now, let's take a look at this sentence. Both men and women have complained about the traffic. The key point here is the use of the verb have to match the plural subject. Notice that both men and women together form a plural subject, so we use have instead of has. In the incorrect version, it says has, which is singular, and that's a common mistake. It's important to remember that when we're talking about multiple groups or combined subjects, we need to use the plural form of the verb. This ties into our overall theme of clarity in communication and proper grammar. Making sure our verb agreement matches the subject is essential for conveying our message accurately. And just to highlight the fun part, here's a little test. Find the fib in the sentence on the slide. The incorrect sentence is, both men and women has complained about the traffic. So, always double-check your subject-verb agreement to avoid that common mistake. So, here's a simple idea to think about. You can play football or you can play video games. Both are fun ways to spend your time, right? But the key point here is that these are two different choices you might face. And the question we're exploring is, which one is the real activity you do, or maybe, which one is the fib? Sometimes, people might say they do one thing when they actually do the other. So, finding the fib, figuring out what's not true, is a great way to test how well you really know yourself or others. It ties into our overall theme of understanding choices and perceptions. Just remember, whether you prefer the outdoors with football or the indoors with video games, it's all about knowing yourself and being honest about what you actually do. I wanted to help you, but they didn't let me do it. This highlights an important point about communication and barriers. Sometimes, we have good intentions and want to support others, but external factors or restrictions prevent us from acting. It's a reminder that even with the best intentions, our ability to help can be limited by circumstances beyond our control. And that's a key concept in understanding how to navigate complex situations, recognizing when we can and cannot intervene. This also ties into the overall theme of the presentation, which is about effective communication and understanding limitations. So always be aware of these constraints and find different ways to support or influence positively, even if direct help isn't possible. Now, let's move on to the next part of the presentation. All right, let's take a moment to review what we've covered with this final slide. On page 256 of the workbook, you'll find exercise D, which is a great way to apply what we've discussed today. This exercise is designed to reinforce your understanding and help you practice the key concepts in a practical way. As part of your homework, I encourage you to complete this exercise thoroughly. Think about how the ideas connect to the overall theme we've been exploring, the importance of applying these principles in real-world situations. Remember, engaging with these exercises not only solidifies your learning, but also prepares you to implement these strategies effectively. So, take your time, review the concepts, and see how they come together in this practical task.